Hello and welcome to the Home Designer 2018 bathroom demonstration. My name is Molly and I will be presenting for you today. We will begin by placing our walls and dimensioning those walls as we go. We will add doors and windows, create a custom vanity as well as a custom glass shower. Throughout the presentation we will be adjusting our materials and adding various bathroom accessories. We will place electrical components and connect the electrical units. We will send a view to the layout, and finally we will go over our rendering techniques. When you first open your Home Designer software program, this Welcome to Home Designer screen will appear. Under Home Designer Professional, you'll see the options for a new plan, a new layout, the option to open a plan or a layout, and recent files that you've been working on. One new feature in the 2018 programs is the Announcements section. Here you can find announcements about things like new 3D library items, or you can navigate to the Home Talk user forum to connect with other Home Designer users. You will also see links to training resources and our Getting Started guide. Let's get started by opening our bathroom webinar template. And when you first open the program, you can see that you'll have a blank plan. Before we get started, I wanted to go over some of the tools and commonly used toolbars that we'll be using today. I want to review the main menu and toolbars. Toolbars are commonly configured items that you will frequently use. You can find these at the top of your screen and you'll see an option for a drop-down menu. Under the wall tools, you'll see the straight exterior wall, straight interior wall, straight foundation wall, straight pony wall, straight half wall, and the room divider tool. We'll be using these frequently today. Another thing that we'll be using is our cabinet toolbar. Under your cabinet toolbar, you'll see the option for the base cabinet, which we will be placing for our custom vanity. We have our wall cabinet, a full height cabinet, soffit, shelf, partition, and a custom countertop. One other toolbar that we'll be using is the camera toolbar. Through your camera toolbar, you'll see a few different options as well. We'll go through these as we generate our 3D views. All of these options can also be found through the main menu through the various drop-downs. Under Build, you'll see the wall options as well as your cabinet options. Under 3D, you'll see the option for the 3D camera views, as well as other rendering techniques and camera options. I also wanted to review our library browser. If your library browser is not already open, you can open it by selecting the library icon that looks like 3 books at the top of your screen. When you select this icon, you'll see the library browser will appear. Under your library browser, you'll have multiple different folders. The first folder will be your core catalogs, which are the items that come with your program. Under the bonus catalogs, you'll find items that were created by Chief Architect or additional items that are available for download on our website. Under manufacturer catalogs, you'll find the manufacturers that are available for download from our website as well. After our presentation today, I'll show you where you'll be able to find these catalogs. One folder that I'll be using frequently throughout my design is the user catalog. Under the user catalog, you're able to store items for future use or items that you use commonly. Under the Bathroom 2018 folder, you can see that I've separated my accessories and my materials. Before we begin designing, I did want to show some of my design inspirations that I was able to find before creating this plan. Some material inspiration that I found on house.com were these hardwood floors along with this lighter cabinet and lighter shower tile material. I really like the glass shower along with the white cabinets and the darker floor. Some vanity inspiration that I found was this vanity on house.com. I really like the larger vanity and the setup of the mirrors, windows, and other various bathroom accessories. I also wanted to show the final rendering of the bathroom that we'll be working to recreate today. We will be creating a custom vanity along with a custom glass shower, and we'll be placing other various bathroom accessories as well as lighting and connecting electrical. Let's get back into our Home Designer program to begin designing our master bathroom. When you're back in the program, you can exit out of the library browser for now since we won't be needing to grab any 3D objects or materials at this time. To draw an exterior wall in Home Designer software, select the Straight Exterior Wall tool. When you select this tool, you'll see that your mouse will change from Select Objects mode to the Wall option. To draw a wall, simply click and drag and you'll see that temporary dimensions will appear. You don't need to worry about your dimensions right now since we will be able to adjust those here soon. You'll see that when you connect the walls, there may be green dashed lines that appear. These show that auto rebuild roofs are on. You can turn them off if you need to through the layer display option. To deselect an object, simply press the spacebar on your keyboard, or you can press the Select Objects mode at the top of your screen. Since we won't be working with the roof, we can turn this layer off in 2D. You can find your layer display options under Tools and Display Options, or you can also find it in Home Designer Pro through the Display Options icon on your screen. Once your layer display options open, you will see options for the layers that are currently being displayed. You can see that the roof baselines are being used in our design and they are being displayed. I'll uncheck Display under both baselines and roof planes, and when I select OK, these will disappear from our design. The roof will still show in 3D, so please note that your layer display options in 2D and 3D are separate, so if you change something in a 2D view, it will still appear in 3D. Right away, when you connect 4 walls in the software, you'll be able to generate a 3D view. Let's take a look at what the room is looking like so far. We can go to our camera toolbar and select the dollhouse view to view our room without a roof. You can see through the dollhouse view that our defaults have generated the interior drywall, moldings, and the hardwood floor. Some people do like to work in both 2D and 3D at the same time, so I wanted to show a few ways that you're able to do this. To work in both 2D and 3D, you can simply select the tab that you're working in and click and drag to bring it right by your floor plan. You can also do this by going to the Window and Tile Horizontally or Tile Vertically tab. And the final way to do this would be by selecting Shift F6 on your keyboard, and this will allow you to work in both 2D and 3D. Let's begin dimensioning our exterior walls by exiting out of our dollhouse view, and this will bring us back to just our 2D floor plan view. When you select any object in the software, you'll notice that the Edit toolbar will appear at the bottom of your program. The Edit toolbar will give you options such as opening the object up, centering the object, and many other tools that we will go over throughout our presentation. To open an object in Home Designer software, select the object and then select the Open Object tool at the bottom of your screen. You can also do this by selecting Ctrl-E or by double-clicking on the object. When you open an object up, a specification dialog will come up with many options available to you. The panel options will be different depending on the object that you open. Under the General Wall panel, we see that we have the option to change the wall type, adjust the thickness, the wall length, and the wall angle. Under the Structure panel, we have more options as well as the roof. Under the Wall Types panel, you have the option to select your wall type and to create a pony wall. This option is only available in Home Designer Architectural and Professional, and we will go over this later when we're creating a custom glass shower. We also have the wall covering option, so we'll have the option to add a wall covering, the rail style, newels and balusters, materials, and label. For now, we'll keep this wall exactly how it is. Now we can start dimensioning our walls. Since we already have this exterior wall selected, we see that this temporary dimension appears. When we select this temporary dimension, we'll have the option to change the dimension and move where the dimension will locate to. You can see here right now that it's moving the right end of this wall, so I'll keep this selected and I can type in my dimension of 28 feet. Now I'd like to select the wall right next to it, and I'll change this to be 26 feet 2 inches. Once this is done, my exterior dimensions have been set in place and we can start creating our interior walls. Under our wall tool options, you'll see that we have the straight exterior wall, straight interior wall, straight foundation wall, straight pony wall, straight half wall, and the room divider. I'll use the straight interior wall to start drawing out the rough floor plan of my plan. The dimensions don't have to be perfect, and we can just draw out the rough floor plan and then use the interior dimensioning tool to dimension our walls. Once your interior dimensions are in place, you can press your spacebar and go to your dimensioning toolbar and find the interior dimension option. With your interior dimension tool selected, simply click and drag to create your interior dimensions in each area. Once this is done, you can begin adjusting your dimensions as needed. I'll change this dimension to be 5 feet by 8 feet. I'll make sure that this locates to move to bottom end so that it doesn't interfere with my exterior walls at all. Now I'd like to go to my closet area and change this dimension to be 13 feet by 5 feet wide. With these interior dimensions in place, we've now set our floor plan. I would now like to delete my interior dimensions, so I could do so by selecting each one and then deleting it on my keyboard, or I can select the interior dimensions tool and hold down the shift key and then click and drag to select just those objects. When I select delete, that will delete my interior dimensions. Let's take a look at our plan in a perspective overview, and we can see that our walls are in place. I'd like to view both 3D and 2D at the same time, so I'll select Shift F6 on my keyboard and I can zoom in on my floor plan. I would now like to get into the room specification dialog box for each room and change the room labels and types. If I double click on a room, I can open the room specification dialog. You can also do this by selecting the Open Object tool at the bottom of your Edit toolbar. Under Room Type, I have the option to specify the room. I'll change this room to be the master bathroom. We will also be getting into some of the other panels in the room specification dialog. Under the Structure panel, I'll want to change my rough ceiling height to be 120 inches for 10 feet high ceilings. Under the Moldings, you have the option to edit your moldings. I'll uncheck Use Floor Default, and I'll delete this molding for now. We'll be adding a molding back later on. Under Wall Covering, you have the option to add a wall covering. We will be adding a wall covering in the bathtub area here in a bit. And we also have Fill Style, and you can also edit your materials from this panel. If we go back to the General panel, we can be reminded that we just set it as the master bathroom. We can watch in 3D and see how our defaults change when we change a room type. You can see here that the floor type changed as well as the ceiling height. I would now like to set this toilet area to be the same ceiling height, and I'd also like to set it to be the master bathroom. I'll now go to the Structure tab and change the rough ceiling height to 120 inches as well. When I select OK, we can see that the height will adjust. I can now go through and specify my other two rooms as the master bedroom and closet. You'll see that the defaults will also change to a carpet floor type and another carpet in the closet area. If I don't want my room labels to show, I can go to my display options and just type in room labels. When this appears, I'll uncheck the option to display the room labels. Let's begin placing both our doors and windows in our design. You can find your door tools under your door toolbar. I'll select the hinge door, and I can click and place to place two doors in the closet area. When I select my spacebar, I can deselect the door option and select one of the doors to see the edit options in our edit toolbar. In our edit toolbar, you'll see that you have the option to change the opening and hinge side, as well as the option to change the swing side. When I select these options, you can see how these will change. If I'd like to center my door on the wall that it's currently on, I can select the Center Object tool. This will center it between this wall. I'll change this hinge side and continue to place our doors. I'll select the hinge door option again, and I'll place one here leading into the master bathroom. When I select the door, if I click and drag with the edit handle, we'll see that once we get to a certain width, it creates a double door. I'll select this door and move it over just a bit to the right, and this will create a larger door. Finally, I'd like to add a pocket door leading into the toilet area. Your pocket door tool can be found in your door toolbar. Now that our doors are in place, we're able to start placing our windows. Before we begin placing our windows, let's take a look at our vanity inspiration to see what our windows are like. The reason why we created higher ceilings in our master bathroom area was to account for these high windows. We will be placing 3 windows above the vanity area. Let's get back into our design and place a default window in our plan. I'll press spacebar to deselect my door tool, and I'll go to the window option and select the window. When I select this window, you can see in our 3D view that it will place the window lower to the ground than we would like. Just like with every object in Home Designer software, if I double click on the window, it will open the window specification. I can see right away that the window type is just using the default. I'll change this to be fixed glass, and I will be adjusting both the width and the height. I'll change it to be 30 inches by 16 inches, and I'll change the floor to top to be 114 inches. These will place the windows a lot higher than they currently are. If I go to the Sill tab, I can uncheck Use Interior Sill and Use Exterior Sill. Now that I've made all my changes, I can select OK and we can see where this window will place. You can see that the window is a lot higher, just like the ones that we had in the photo. I'd like to create the exact same windows and have them be a certain distance apart. I can do this by using a tool only available in Home Designer Professional. This tool is called the Transform Replicate Object tool. I'll select the window, and once I have that selected, I can go down to my Edit toolbar and open the Transform Replicate Object tool. When I open this, I'll have the option to copy this item, and I'll make the number of copies 2. I'll then check the word Move and change the X delta to be 54 inches. The reason why I changed the X delta is because I'd like the object to move to the right. When I select OK, you can see that it will place those 2 windows 54 inches apart. We will work to center these on our custom vanity once we have it created. To begin creating our custom vanity, let's exit out of our camera view and create a wall elevation view. Your wall elevation camera can be found under your orthographic view options. If we go to this toolbar, you can select the wall elevation. This will be a tool that's available in Home Designer Suite, Architectural, and Professional. To create a wall elevation view, simply click and drag the camera towards the wall that you'd like to create the elevation for. If you'd like to work in both your wall elevation view and your 2D view at the same time, you can do so by selecting Shift F6 on your keyboard. I'll zoom out a little bit on my wall elevation view so that we can see the whole vanity as we design it. To begin, I'd like to get into my floor plan and place a default base cabinet. When I place the default base cabinet, you'll see it appear in the elevation view. Let's open this object to take a look at the base cabinet specification dialog. When I open this, you'll see that we have many different cabinet options. You have the option to change your cabinet style, size and position, add a countertop, a backsplash, edit the toe kick, and you also have many other options through your panels. We can see that you have the option to have a framed or frameless box construction, and you can change the overlay. We'll be adjusting some of the items through the front panel here soon, and we'll also look at the door and drawer panel. You can see that you'll be able to add a molding, change the fill style, edit the materials, add a label, and add other object information. This is a new feature in 2018 to add the object information. Let's go back to the general panel and edit some of the components. I would first like to change this base cabinet to be 18 inches wide. You can see that when I apply this new width, it will change in our side preview. Let's go to the front panel and edit some of the item types available in this cabinet. I'll uncheck Use Default, and this will allow me to change the vertical layout parent. Here, if I select the door Auto Right, it will select this door right here. I'd like to change this to just be a drawer, and when I select this, you'll see that this will change. I'll go back to the drawer and split it horizontally. If I'd like to make sure that all of these drawers are equal, I can select the vertical layout parent and equalize the drawers. This option is only available in Home Designer Professional. If you wanted to change your door or drawer handles, you can do so through the Door and Drawer panel. I have my default set as the door and drawer handles that I'd like to use, so I won't be changing them in this demonstration. You can also see what materials are being used through the Materials panel. We'll be adjusting all of the materials at one time with the tool called the Material Painter here in a bit. I'll select OK to save these changes, and we can see that this will change in both the floor plan view and our elevation view. I'll bump this cabinet up to be right against this toilet area wall. To deselect this cabinet, I'll press the spacebar, and I'd like to place another base cabinet. I'll place this base cabinet and do the same thing to open it up. I'll change this width to be 36 inches wide, and you can see that the cabinet will appear. If I select the front panel or any of the objects, I'll be able to change the face items. I'd like to change this drawer to be a false drawer because I will be placing a sink over it. I'll select OK to save these changes. Next, I'd like to create a copy of this same exact smaller 18-inch wide cabinet that we created earlier. The copy tool can be found in your Edit toolbar. I'll copy this object, and you'll see that my mouse will appear with the ability to paste. If I paste this object, it will paste right by it. I'd now like to place one more base cabinet, and then I'll show a tool to reflect these cabinets about the main base cabinet. I'll select the base cabinet and place it here in my floor plan, and I'll double click to open the object. I'll change the width to be 36 inches, and I'll go to the front panel and delete this drawer here. I'd like to now add, under the separation, a new blank area. I'll make this item height 5 inches, and this will place below. Now I'd like to copy these three cabinets to the left of the main base cabinet, so I'll select each one while holding the Shift key and select the Copy tool. An option in our Edit toolbar will now come up to Reflect About Object. While I have these copied, I'll select the Reflect About Object tool, and I'll copy them on the other side of this base cabinet. I would now like to add a backsplash to all of my base cabinets, so I'll select my base cabinet tool, and I'll select Shift to group select only my base cabinets. This will select all of these objects, and I can select Ctrl E to open this object. I'll change the backsplash to be 4 inches, and I'll select to show it on the side as well. This will show the backsplash on the side of the wall connected to this end cabinet. Lastly, I'd like to go to the Materials tab and change my backsplash from here. When I select this material, I have the option to select a new material, and I can type in the backsplash that I'm looking for. Once I select the backsplash that I'm looking for, we'll see that this will appear in the preview. I'll select OK, and now let's take a 3D view of what our plan's looking like. I'll exit out of this wall elevation view for now, and we can go to our camera tools and select the full camera. To create a camera view, just simply click and drag the camera at what you'd like to view in 3D. We can see here that these materials are not the same as the vanity that we're working to recreate. Let's take a look at that vanity one more time. The vanity that we're working to recreate has a white countertop and white cabinets. We can open our library to view our user catalog and our materials that we have saved. I'll go to my library browser and go to the user catalog. Under the user catalog, I'll select Bathroom 2018, and the Materials folder will have the material that I've saved. I've saved the Glacier White material to apply to the countertops. When you select a material, you'll notice that your Edit toolbar will appear with different paint options. If you look at your mouse, it will look like you're about to paint on the material. We have a few different modes that you can select for the Material Painter. When you first activate the Material Painter, the Component mode will be selected. This mode will apply materials to the component of an object when you click on that particular component. For example, if I were to click on just this door, it would only apply to the cabinet door. Object mode will apply the materials to the entire object. If you activate the Room mode for the Material Painter, it will apply materials to every object in a room that has the same original material. The Floor mode will apply materials to every object that has the same original material and is on the same floor of the plan. The Plan mode will change all objects that contain the same original material. I'll select the Room mode for the countertops so that all of the countertops in our room will change to this countertop type. I would now like to select the 459 Bright White and make sure I'm in Room mode, which I am, and I'll select the Material Painter to paint this on all of the cabinets. Now that we've adjusted the materials for our vanity, we can move forward by adding some of our bathroom accessories. I'd like to view both my 2D and my 3D plan at the same time, so I'll select Shift F6 on my keyboard, and I can zoom in here a little bit on my floor plan. The first thing I'd like to do before placing my bathroom accessories is center my windows on the larger cabinets. I can select a window, and in the Edit toolbar, I'll see the option to center object. I'll center this object on my cabinet, and I'll do the same with the remaining two windows. Once these are centered, I'll go to my accessories folder and I can select the beveled mirror and I can place it on each of the side larger cabinets. You'll notice that my mirrors do have reflections, and you can edit this in your defaults, or you can do it through the 3D options. So if I was in 3D mode and I go to 3D and then camera view options, you'll see the option to toggle your reflections on here. Getting back into my floor plan, I can place my rectangular sink on both of the side larger cabinets as well. So I'll place that there. I'd also like to place my lights on both sides of the mirrors, so I can place those, and you'll see that the lighting will be adjusted when I place those. I'd also like to place my soap dispenser, so I'll grab this and I'll place it on both sides of the sinks. If you need to, you can rotate this using the triangle edit handle. You can also edit your lights and other fixtures as needed if it's not exactly where you need it to be. I also have hand towel rings, so I'll place those on both of the smaller cabinets. I'll place my flowers towards the middle of our vanity, along with our hand towel basket. And the final thing that I need to do for completing my vanity is place a wall cabinet. So I can do this by going to my cabinet toolbar and selecting the wall cabinet, and I can place this just right here in the center, and I'll center it once I've completed adjusting this cabinet. So I'll open the wall cabinet specification, and when I do this, you'll see that it's similar to the base cabinet specification. Right away, I can see that I'd like to adjust the size, so I'll change the height to be 36 inches, and I'll make the width 30 inches. When I do this, you can see that it will automatically become a double door. I'd like to uncheck Backsplash to base below. Next, I'd like to go to the door drawer panel, and I'll select the door style, and I'll change this to be frame doors. When I do this, I'll then have the option to select glass doors. So I'll select that and I'll say OK, and this will adjust in our 3D and 2D view. I'd like to center this to be perfectly along the base middle cabinet, so I'll do so, and we've completed our custom vanity. With our custom vanity complete, we can exit out of our full camera view and we can take a look at our vanity in our wall elevation view. I'll exit out of my library browser for now and go to the wall elevation tool. I'll select this tool and simply click and drag to create a wall elevation. Once we are in our wall elevation view, I'll deselect the wall elevation camera by selecting my spacebar, and I can go up to our manual dimensioning tool to create manual dimensions of both our vanity and our wall and our windows. I'll simply click and drag to create these dimensions. And once they're created, I can select the dimension line and find the square edit handle to drag them down below my plan. I'll select the window dimensions and simply click and drag to bring them above my plan. Since I would like to send this to my layout page later on, I can find the Save Active Camera tool at the top of my toolbar, and I'll select this option. And now when I exit out of this elevation, we'll always be able to get back to that wall elevation view through this elevation camera. Now that we have our elevation camera saved, we're able to start creating our custom glass shower. So I'd like to go to my wall tools and I can find the pony wall option from there. The pony wall is only available in Home Designer, Architectural, and Professional. So I'll select the straight pony wall, and from here I can click and drag to draw out my wall, and you can do this the same way that you click and drag with your exterior and interior walls. And so once I've placed these pony walls, I can group select them in Home Designer Pro, and I will open these objects, and then I'll take a look at the preview that we have so far. So we can see that this exterior wall is placing along with the interior drywall, and I'd like to change this wall type to be a custom glass shower wall type. So I'll go to the wall types panel, and under this panel I'm able to change the wall type to a glass shower. Under the pony wall, I'll change this wall type to be the shower wall lower, which is a wall type that I've created. You are able to define wall types and customize them in Home Designer, Architectural, and Professional. So you can see here that you're able to change the layers and add wall layers, as well as change the pattern, texture, fill, and thickness. So I've added a shower tile along with a backer board, and this will be on the lower part of my pony wall. I'll select OK to save these changes, and I'll align the pony wall at the wall center, and then I'll also display the lower wall in my plan view so that it's easier to work with this shower when I'm adding a custom countertop. Let's go to our camera toolbar and use our floor camera to take a 3D view of our custom glass shower. So once we take this view, I would like to view it in both 2D and 3D at the same time, so I'll use Shift F6 on my keyboard to create this. Now that we've tiled our views, we can add a custom glass shower door. So I'll go to my door toolbar and I'll just select the hinge door, and I'll place this in my 2D view. And so I'll select the hinge door and I can place this, and we can see that it will place a normal interior door. I'll open this door through the door specification dialog, and I can change the door style to be a slab. From here, I'd like to keep the door type at hinged, but I would like to change the thickness to be 3/8 of an inch. Next, I'd like to go to my casing panel, and from here I can uncheck the Use Interior Casing option. Since this will be a glass door, we don't need interior casing. I'll now go to my hardware panel, and I can select under both interior handle and exterior handle the pull handle. And finally, under the hardware panel, I'd like to change the hinges to be one from my library. So we can go to our bonus catalogs, and if you have the shower hardware catalog, that will appear, and I can go under glass wall components and select the plate door hinge. When I select OK, we can see in the preview that these changes will be made, and the final thing that I need to do is adjust the materials under the materials panel. From here, I need to change the door to be, when I multi-select these materials, which is a new option in Home Designer 2018 programs, I can select the material and I can type in glass tempered. This is one way that you're able to find materials through the library is by just typing in what you're looking for. And I'll select OK, and then I also need to do this for the shutters and the trim. So I'll type in glass tempered, find this material, and I'll apply it. Finally, we need to go to the options panel, and we'll just change the door to swing in both directions. Since this is a glass shower door, we need to have that option. I'll select OK, and we can see that these changes will be made. And now that our custom glass door is in place, we're able to place the custom countertop along the pony wall. The custom countertop tool can be found in your cabinet toolbar. So I'll go and select our custom countertop tool from here, and I can zoom in here a bit on our floor plan. And so once I zoom in, I'm able to just click and drag to create this custom countertop. We can see in our 3D view that the custom countertop will try to place at a normal cabinet height, which is about 36 inches. So the first thing that I'd like to do is open our custom countertop specification. So I'll uncheck Set Height from Cabinet, and I'll change the elevation reference to be absolute, and I'll change the elevation at bottom to be 48 inches, which will line up perfectly with our pony wall. When I select OK, we can see that this will place above our pony wall, and I would like to change the dimension of this to be 6 inches. Once I've changed the dimension, I can center this along the pony wall, and I can adjust it to be just at the pony wall. I would now like to add the custom countertop on each side of the custom glass shower door. So I'll select my custom countertop tool, and I can do the same process that I did on the other pony wall. So that will place lower than we'd like, so we'd like to adjust the countertop height. And I'll change this after I've changed the elevation reference to be absolute. I'll change this to 48 inches. And then I can change the dimensions to be 6 inches wide. And then I'll center this along the pony wall. And I can drag this out so that it reaches the other custom countertop. And finally, I'll just create a copy of this custom countertop and place it on the other side of the door. And so I'll use my copy tool in my edit toolbar, and then I can paste this and I can change it and add it over here, and then I can center it and adjust the length. I can use my spacebar to deselect this tool, and then if we'd like, we can get into our 3D view, and through this tab we can use the object eyedropper, and I'll select the shower tile and I can paint it on each object so that this custom countertop will match our shower tile material. While this material is selected, we can zoom in on our shower walls, and we can change this drywall material to be the shower tile material. And I can also zoom down here and change my shower floor to be the same exact material. I'd also like to add a shower seat while we're still working on our custom shower. And so I'll press my spacebar to deselect this tool, and through our cabinet toolbar I can find my soffit tool. And so with the soffit tool, I'll get in my floor plan, and I can place a soffit in my floor plan. And when we place it, we can see in 3D that it will place pretty high. And we would like this to be right on the ground. So let's open the soffit specification, and we can see that we have the options to change the size and position as well as add a molding if we'd like to. So under the general panel, I will change the height to be 17 inches, which is about standard for a shower seat. And then I'd like to change the floor to bottom to be 0 inches so that it places right on the floor. And I'll select OK, and then once that is placed, I can click and drag with the edit handles to make the shower seat a little bit bigger. And finally, I'd like to zoom in again, and in my 3D view, I'll apply the shower tile material to the shower seat. The final thing that we need to change on our custom glass shower is we need to add some shower accessories. So to do this, I will get into my library browser. And so I'll select the library browser icon, and we can get into our manufacturer catalogs. And I can scroll down here and find the Kohler manufacturer. And I know that I'd like to work under the bathroom folder, so I'll go down to the shower faucets and I can find the shower faucet that I'm looking for. So I'll find under Purist, I'll look for the second one down, which will be the shower trim set only. And so in our floor plan view, we can select this and place the shower faucet. We can see in our 3D view that it will place pretty low. So if I'd like to open this object up, I can see that we have the option to change the floor to bottom. So I'll change this to be 48 inches, and when I select OK, we can see that it will adjust to a more normal height for our glass shower. And then the final thing that I need to do in our shower is place a shower drain. And I have one saved in my user catalog, so I'll scroll down to the Bathroom 2018 catalog and I'll open it and select under Accessories our shower drain, and I can just place that shower drain within my shower. Once I've placed my shower drain, I can navigate to the small area rug that I have saved in my user catalog, and I can place this right outside of the custom glass shower. And now I'd like to start adjusting my bathtub area by adding some wall coverings. So if I get into my full camera view, we can see here that if we navigate around with our camera, we have the area closest to the closet, and then we have our bathroom area. So I'm going to take a 3D view towards where our bathtub will be. And so we can just take this camera view, and this will allow us to see this entire wall that we'll be working with. And so if I shift F6, I can work with both of these views at the same time. And in my full camera view, I would like to go to my materials folder, and I'd like to change all of my walls to be RM01 Decorators White. And so I'll select the room mode and I'll paint this on to make all of our walls white. Now that I've done this, I'll select my spacebar, and I would like to get into my floor plan view, and I'll use something called the break wall tool to break walls. So the point of the break wall tool is to separate walls so that you're able to edit and modify them as needed. And so I'm going to add a couple wall breaks in a couple places that we will be adding wall coverings. And so the reason for the wall breaks is because I don't want the wall coverings to go everywhere. I'd like to only have it in specific places. So if I select my space bar, you can see that I will just select these 3 walls. So I'll multi-select those walls, and if I open the wall specification dialog, we can get into the wall covering panel. And under wall covering, I'll select add new, and I'll go to my user catalog and go to the Bathroom 2018, and I'll select the shower tile option, and I'll select OK, and then I'll change the floor to bottom to be 0, and I'll change the height of the wall covering to be 46 inches, and then I'll have the wall side set at interior. And when we select OK, we can see that the wall covering will place on this side wall right next to the glass shower. And so I'll open these 2 walls and we can take a look at what's going on here. And so we can see that the interior wall is locating in the interior master bedroom as well as the closet. So if I go to the wall covering tab, I can change the wall side to be on the exterior, which is where these interior walls are locating. And I'll select OK, and we can see that the wall covering will then adjust and be on the correct side. With our wall coverings in place, I can now add my bathtub. And so I'll add the bathtub in this little nook area here. And then I'd also like to add a towel bar on this wall over here. And now this area is complete. So if we'd like, we can exit out of our camera view and take a full rendered view of how our bathroom is looking. And so we can see that we've added our custom glass shower along with the bathtub and our bathroom accessories. And the final thing that we need to do before we start to place the electrical lighting as well as the light switches and outlets is we need to get into our floor plan and place our toilet along with our toilet paper holder. So I will select our toilet here, and I can place that in the toilet area. And if I'd like, I can center it along this wall. So I'll select my center object tool and then I can center that, and I'll add my classic toilet paper holder. And I can place that here, and then I can also add a window if I'd like to have one just in this bathroom area, so I'll add a window. And finally, we can start placing our electrical components. So I'll exit out of this camera, and I'll also exit out of my library browser. And so now we can start placing our electrical lighting and outlet. So to do this, I'll go up to my CAD line tools and I'll draw a line. And so I'm just drawing this line so that I make sure that the lights are completely lined up and in place. And then I'll go to my electrical toolbar and select the light. And I can just place these lights along this line. And now I can zoom in here and I can group select these four objects. And so once I have them all selected, I'll make a copy of this item and paste it in place. And then once that copy is in place, I can just bring this down a little bit here, and this will place my lighting. I can now delete the CAD lines. And then I'll also add a light in the toilet area, as well as add a light over my shower. So I'll go to my library browser, and I do have a special recessed vapor light saved just to go above the shower. So I'll place that there, and then we can place one more light over here. Next, I'd like to add some outlets and switches. So I'll go back up to my electrical toolbar and I can find the outlet here. So I'll add one outlet here, and then I'll add another one over on my vanity, as well as on the other side. And then I'll add some light switches, so I'll do one on each side of this door, and I'll place another switch over here and one coming out of the closet door. Now I can start connecting my electrical components. So I'll use the Connect Electrical option and I'll connect this light switch in this room. And so right away you can see that when your electrical components are connected, it will create a red arch, and so you can adjust this using the edit handle if you want it to be smaller or larger, and then you can also open it up, and if you need to, you can change the line color if you'd like to from here. I'll go through and connect the rest of my electrical components, and so I'll just add these here and I'll just connect them within the room that they're in. So I'll add these, and I won't forget to connect the lighting that's right next to my mirrors. And I'll finish by connecting it to the last light switch. Once my electrical is connected, if I want, I can get into my layer display options and I can type in electrical, and I can turn off the connections if I want to, along with the electrical components. So these will still show in 3D, but just for now I would not like to have them showing in my floor plan. And so the final thing that I would like to do before we go over rendering techniques is I'd like to get into our elevation camera. And so let's get into this elevation view, and we can see the dimensions are still here. And so if we go ahead and select File and then Send to Layout, this option is a dedicated feature that's only available in Home Designer Professional. And so I'll create a new layout window and send this view to it. And so when I select to send to layout, I will have some options appear. I'll be able to change the camera view options. I can change the scaling, so you're able to adjust the scale. So I'll change this to a 1/2 inch scale, and I'll select OK, and we can see that the elevation view that we created will appear, and you're able to adjust that on the page. And so this dedicated feature in Home Designer Pro will have the option for your title block and border, and you are able to print up to 18 by 24 to scale. Home Designer Interior Suite and Architectural will allow you to print to scale up to 12 by 18. Now if we get back into our floor plan view, we can go over some of the rendering techniques that are only available in Home Designer Architectural and Professional. We can take a floor camera view and take a look at our completed design, And under the Rendering Techniques toolbar, we can see that we're currently in the standard view. The rendering options that are only available in architectural and professional are the vector view, technical illustration, and the watercolor view. As you go through each option, if you double click on it, you will have more options available to you. This will allow you to change things like the turbulence scale and the edge strength. If you would like to save a certain view that you're currently in, you can go to File, Export, and then you can export that view as a picture file. I hope you enjoyed this bathroom demonstration today. If you have not already done so, you're welcome to download a free trial from our website. We also have a 30-day money-back guarantee if you'd like to purchase the software risk-free. Through our website, you can see that we have a lot of training resources available for you to use. These include training videos, help articles, and other demonstrations. If you need help choosing what program would be best for you, you're welcome to call our sales department or email us and we will be happy to assist you. I'd like to thank you again for watching this bathroom demonstration. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to our sales department and we will be more than happy to answer those for you.